Hey everybody, it's Joe. Just got off the phone with our Bright representative, and there are 3 things you need to know about Bright right now. And feel free to share this with your other realtor friends. Okay, so number 1, there are 3 statuses for listings when they go what we call like off the market. There is withdrawn, there is canceled, and then there is expired. So in the old days, in the MRIS, we really only had one status, which was withdrawn. So there's a technical matter with this. So you could technically have a listing that's been withdrawn from withdrawn from Bright, but you still have a valid listing agreement. That would be considered withdrawn. In that definition, technically what's supposed to happen is your days on market get paused. They don't get reset. There's a canceled listing. This means that the listing agreement, the status in MRIS is out, so it's canceled, but also your listing agreement has been canceled. This is truly kind of a listing agreement's been torn up. There's no obligations on the seller for any reason. And then there's the third one, which is the expired. So the expired happens when your listing hits that timeline and it goes off the market and it expires during that listing period or at the end of that listing period. So those are the 3 distinctions of those off-market statuses. So here's how it plays out in real life, and there's 2 things that are happening right now that you need to be aware of. Number 1 is you could take over a listing. So let's say Bob Realtor has a listing and it is going along, and then their seller is unhappy and he fires Bob the realtor. Bob puts the listing in withdrawn status, even though technically this listing has been canceled. The seller and the listing broker have both agreed to completely cancel the representation and the listing in Bright. So it has gone to but the agent put it in there falsely as withdrawn as opposed to canceled. So our agent Pat with Remax picks up the listing and his listings goes along. However, Pat thinks that Bob the realtor's listing is done, but actually Bob the realtor's expiration date happens during Pat's new listing. Because Bob the realtor withdrew it and didn't cancel it, it's going to show up as a brand new expired listing during Pat's active listing period. So when Pat's sitting in his sales meeting, Pat's seller is going to call him and say, hey, look, I just got 13 phone calls from agents saying my listing has been expired. What's going on? What are you doing? So, caution you, if you are taking over a listing that has previously been listed, double check, make sure that that listing is showing up as canceled, not withdrawn, because there's a potential that that expired listing will happen during the middle of your active listing agreement. Got it? Okay. Third thing is this new thing about CDOM, DOM, and we were told when the new Bright system came out that as long as the property was off the market, right, we assumed any of these categories for 60 days, it would reset the CDOM and DOM. That's not really what was supposed to happen. Only listings that were canceled or expired were supposed to have that reset of the CDOM and DOM. Bright is telling us now they're giving us a reprieve. There's an email that came out about noon yesterday, Tuesday the 13th, that said that you would get a reprieve until April 30th. So anything that had been in Bright that had been withdrawn, right, this status canceled or expired, and then was relisted more than 60 days later, would come up with a reset on the days on market. So they're giving us a reprieve on that, but that also means that there's going to be some listings that may come in after that 4/30/2019 date that you have to be careful of. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call me. I can walk you through some of that explanation, but just want to make sure you got this right now in front of you because if you are looking at relisting some listings, they should, even if they were in withdrawn status, they should be coming up correctly now. But this timeline one, this one scares the crud out of me. So you got to make sure if you do have taken over a listing that the previous listing has definitely been canceled, not withdrawn. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.